Ahoy, my friends, Ryder here. All right, so it is currently Friday. In my let's see, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It is the 5th day of the 7-day arena push for Conqueror, which is the number one position in arena and war divisions in a single week. So as of right now, let's look at the rankings. I'm sitting in number one. I've placed first Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Although Thursday, I would say that even though I came out ahead of Rutata by like a few thousand points, I would say that he won that day, honestly. I chose a tactic on Thursday that involved trying to rack up a super, super high win streak, which I did. But then what happened was that I left that team up, which was a strong team, a really strong team, and he cracked the code. He figured out a way to beat that team consistently, and because I was like 23,000 points up, he was just getting 1,000 points a battle, which was insane. And I literally saw it happen, and I made like a scramble to create a counter team. And literally, as I was testing my counter team, he was just racking these points. And honestly, I went through like one team, then a second team, then a third team, and his team was just a really great team. And I couldn't shake it. And finally, it took like 8 tweaks, which is like normally I see a team, and for the most part, I can look at the 3 characters, where they are, look at their abilities, etc., put a team, and 4 times out of 5, I'll beat them on the first go. But, you know, every so often, that's not the case. And it took me 8 tweaks to make a team that countered him. So he caught up to like almost exactly where I was that day. And then since then, we've been pretty like neck and neck. And so today we haven't really moved at all. I think he ended the day yesterday at 147 or 146. He's at 151. And I ended around 149. Now I'm at 157. So today I had a different tactic. I didn't try and rack up my win streak at all. What I did was I put what I think is a very, very strong team in as a defensive position. It's this team right here: Mono Lightning, Esther, Cloud, and Resnick. Resnick is going to give, first of all, Esther is going to use Magnetic Force. She's going to get a physical barrier for 3 turns. Resnick is going to give Cloud a physical barrier for 3 turns. Then they're both going to get a defense spirit buff from Resnick. And then she's going to cast Lightning Strongbolt, which gives them unit attack resistance up. So this team is exceptionally tanky against anything defensive. And from like what I'm seeing in Arena right now, the majority of the units are physical right now. And so people are trying to stay within the bonus units right now. It's obviously Eliza, there's Titus, Orin, Yuna, Renell, there's Chaos Odin, Lastwell's cards, Stekidane, Valifor, right? So like from what you see here, it's like Titus is viable, Astrius is viable with Stekidane, Eliza is probably going to double VC up on Chaos Odin and Lastwell. We also have down here Helena's card. So Helena's card has been like a 50% bonus factor for certain teams, but all in all, I think that this team makes it relatively hard to get the maximum amount of bonus. And so today, instead of stacking up win streaks, what I've been doing is I've just been kind of looking at the other teams. And then, so like Rutata has changed his team like 4 times today. Every time he changed his team, I went in, I looked at the team, and I crafted a different team in my formations, not here, because if you accidentally leave it on something different, it changes it for everyone. And then what I would do is I would come in, I would start the battle, I would start recording, I would start the battle, and I would watch the whole thing. If I won, I would stop recording, and then I would switch my party formation back from the team that I had set to beat him back to this defensive team that I'm running right now. And so I did that for each of Rutata's teams today. And so later on, like when we go into that final mad dash in like the last 30 minutes, I'm hoping that he doesn't see that I created counters to his teams today, so that when he switches to one team, I already have a counter lined up, and I have 4 pages in a notebook I have one page that's all 10 of my teams, all the bonuses that they have. I have each character in a box that I can erase that character's name and write a new one because I did everything in pencil so I can keep everything up to date. And then I have like 3 more full pages in notebooks where I have Rutata. I have every single one of his teams written down that I fought, and the name of my, so like if you go in here and you look at my teams right here, the name of the team that directly counters whatever team he's running. So like right now, Rutata, this team that he's running, if I want to beat it, I have to go into my formation and I have to use Soldier, which is right down here at the bottom. Soldier is the direct counter to the team he's running right here, which is Winter Victoria, Joom, and Laura Croft. If he changes it to a different team, I immediately reference the notebook, I switch the team, I go in, I fight it, then he's going to switch it, etc. Not only so today I wasn't really so much working on points or trying to get win streaks. I was basically crafting teams to beat the players. MRD is a player that's been slowly creeping up. So like Rutata's not the only player I'm looking out for. There's MRD has a good chance. I think all these players have a good chance. SRH Fate, he's probably like the 3rd runner up, I would say. This dude has been creeping up. He's had the highest amount of points each day in comparison to other players. So I have my eye on him. So I have a direct counter for his team. I have a direct counter for MRD's team. I have a direct counter for Odaiba's team. I have a direct counter for Luz right here. Oh, actually, Luz changed his team. Very interesting. Okay, I was actually going to start farming him, but that's actually pretty clever that he did that. It looks like a lot of people are taking the lightning choice. I do have a direct counter to this team as well. So yeah, I have to actually add this. I probably won't add this. Luz, whichever it is, he normally runs a full mono win team, which I can run a team against that with a 450% bonus, which is my master team. But it's rare that I actually get to use it. So that being said, as you guys can see, I have a 0.50 rate up right now. So it does not matter who I fight. I'm not going to get more points from fighting Rutata as I would from fighting MRD or Fate or Odaiba, right? So what I'm trying to do right now is essentially lure Rutata into, like, I'm getting a slow lead and I want him to be forced to attack my lightning team. I know that he doesn't want to do that because he'll be forced to use characters that don't have bonuses, but that's essentially what I want. And I know that he has a lot of refreshes, and that at the end of the day, you know, I basically did the math. It takes about 3 minutes to do 5 battles if you're skipping as fast as you can. But I round up to 4 minutes because if people are changing teams, if you need to like hold down here to check and see what it is, you go into party formation, you change. Sometimes the Wi-Fi slows down. So I give 4 minutes per. So if you have 10 refreshes, that's 40 minutes that it's going to take to do all those skips. That's 50 fights, 40 minutes, right? If you have 15 refreshes, that's exactly an hour. So as of right now, I need 46 minutes of straight skipping in order to use all my refreshes to get through the end of the day. Some people don't want to use all the refreshes. I can understand that. It costs Visior. But I've never tried this before, and my personality, my nature is to go all in when I do something. I want to give my absolute best at something, and if I win or not, I still know that I gave my all. And so I think that whoever has the highest points at the end of the week is the person who becomes the conqueror. And so the way to get the highest points at the end of the week is to use all your refreshes, right? That's the best way to get the highest amount of points. But then the problem is that that's the offensive approach. The defensive approach is that you also want to prevent other people from getting points. And that's where the whole thing gets tricky. And so essentially what I'm doing right now is I'm defending in first place. And my strategy right now is to essentially switch my party formation. I do 5 quick skips, and then from there, I re-switch back out. And so hopefully I'm kind of like a ninja in the night. And so I'm going to show you guys here in a second how I'm going to do it. So I'm going to check right now. So let's see. Against Rutada, I can get 325% bonus. Against MRD, I can get 300% bonus. Against SRH Fate, I can get, let's see, 300% bonus. Yeah. Let's see. Odaiba, 275% bonus. Looks like Luz dropped back down. Here we have Shadow. That's not going to work. We also have Amos. Haven't seen him running Mono Dark. Interesting. Okay, here we have a full Mono Ice team. So I don't have teams for these guys. But essentially, I would like a team that I could beat with Velis, Astrius, and Eliza. But that is a little tricky. Here we have Zodi, who joined my Discord today. We had a really long conversation. I don't know if it's a dude or a girl, but whoever you are, Zodi, you are awesome and very, very knowledgeable about this game. Okay, let's see. So here we have Milky Way, right? Milky Way, 0.50 rate, just like all the other ones, right? The problem is that it's going to take me a little bit of time to scroll down to each one, okay? But essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch my team, and I'm going to go for 5 quick battles, and then I'm going to switch my team back to my defensive formation, which is right now is this lightning team. Then I know that at the end of the day, I don't need 46 minutes in order to do all my skips. I only need 42 minutes. And so I'm slowly whittling down that number, because at the end of the day, when you do your final push, you can't be full board offensive and full board defensive at the same time. So you're essentially leaving yourself open for other people to farm you and get a ton of points, which is what all these people are waiting for, right? And that's what makes it so tricky being in first place as opposed to being in second, third, fourth, fifth. Of course, everyone has, it's a ladder. Everyone's a rung on the ladder. And so, you know, the people above you, below you, there's a tactic, a beta. Like, I'm a rock climber, and when we use a word for the method, the way in which you do something, the way you climb something, that word is beta. So everyone's beta is similar but different. But when you're in first place, it's a whole different ballgame. You have the lowest rate bonus, and people can get the highest amount of points from you. And so everyone is waiting to capitalize on that. And so it's definitely very interesting. I've been learning along the way. I've literally read every single Reddit thread that I could find about people that have gotten first place in Arena, people that have gotten second place, people who have gotten top 10, all of their suggestions, their comments. I talked to a player in my guild, Zelintha, who has the Conqueror title, asked him a ton of questions. He gave me all his opinions, thoughts, wisdom on everything. P.S. Shout out, thank you, Zelintha. I appreciate it, bro. So basically, as of right now, there's an hour and 59 minutes left until the reset, and there is 3 days left. So essentially, I'm trying to get down the number or the time that I need in order to do my final push as little as possible, but at the same time, not getting so far ahead that I run the risk of them being able to find a team that beats my defensive team and stack a bunch of points on it. So, like, for example, if Rutada has a team that can beat my lightning team pretty well, then I run the risk of making that vulnerability. And so there's so many factors that you can't know. You know, at the end of the day, I can only do my best. I can only give it my due diligence. Whoever is going to win is going to be the person who's the most focused, the most experienced, the person who puts in the most effort, and the people that has all the right units and gear, right? There's a whole bunch of different factors that go into this. So I can't force a win in Conqueror. I can't force a win in Conqueror. I can only give it my absolute best and then hope that that is enough. But knowing me, I am going to absolutely give it my best, and we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to back out of here really quick. We're going to go back in. Okay. I'm going to look for Milky Way. I'm going to double check my master team 450%. And okay, so I'm going to switch. I'm going to go to Milky Way. I'm going to attack. Like I said in previous videos, I think basically no matter what team you run, unless you're like fighting level 10 units with 120s, there's always a chance you can lose a fight. The idea is to make teams that have the highest percent chance of winning those fights. And so I fought Milky Way several days at the beginning of this whole experience, and I know that this team, although it can lose, has a very good chance of winning. And so it has a 450% bonus, so I'm hoping that, I mean, this is the best I can do essentially right here. I'm keeping an eye on Rutada at the top, right? And I can't keep an eye on everyone. That's the thing. And that's really tricky about being in number one, is that literally everyone's gunning for you. The top 15 people, or at least the top 10, are all looking and waiting for that opportunity. So that's why I said I'm trying to be like a ninja in the night right now. I would love to show you guys these battles, although honestly, I already have footage up of the Milky Way fights from earlier in the week. So there you go. Even I can lose with this team that's actually catered to beating this team right now. So that's really tricky, actually. So I'll do one more. And I can't quite recall, maybe Milky Way changed some stuff around, but I think that I have roughly a 95% win percent chance on Milky Way. So that's unfortunate since I was only going to do 5 fights right now. But it is what it is. You got to just let what's past be past and move on into the future and go for it. Okay, so 200 points on a win. That's a little low. So from here, I'm going to switch out of this team. I wonder if the game has some type of underlying different bonus. So I'm going to switch to Soldier. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to fight Rutada. Okay, because I know that this team has an extremely high percent win rate against Rutata's team with Winter Victoria, June, and Laura Croft. So let's see. No need for chit-chat. Here I come. Okay, yeah. So actually, I probably should have been fighting him in the first place. I was kind of wondering if you're fighting people way down the list, if you actually get a lower bonus. It says 0.5, but I guess you really never know. So it's quite tricky. Okay, so the last fight of the day, I'm going to actually show you guys this. It's a little bit no need for chit-chat. Risky, but it is pretty fun. I think when it gets pretty close, I can show you guys that it's going to be a guaranteed win. If it is, then I'll probably just skip from there, but I'll show you guys the beginning of this fight. Yuna is a character that not a lot of people are utilizing right now, and she is very interesting. So very tanky hit from June right there. There's a Megamon's TMR on Eliza. Okay, June is going to be coming in from the side. This hit from Eliza right there, super solid. I already knew that Laura Croft was the weaker of the two gunners when I set up this team. I set up Eliza to take her out first. You always want to take out the weakest link. Okay, so Winter Victoria did take out Eliza, but that re-raise from Yuna is super clutch. Now we have Eliza taking out Winter Victoria, or going for it the best she can, and it looks like we're going to have Esther take out Winter Victoria. Okay, so there was the fight right there. Definitely a lot more points from that than we did from Milky Way. So even though it says 0.5 rate, I think that we can conclude that maybe it is not quite there. I'm going to switch back to this team right here, log out of the screen just to make sure that it fully sets back. Then I'm going to go back into duel. So now I have gained a few points and at the same time switched back to my defensive team, right? Now it's unfortunate that I lost that fight because I did have a little bit of a win streak. So now I have 13 refreshers left, right? Which is 50, 55, 60, 65 fights left in the day, and I want to get all of these done. The Visior is not important to me at this point. Once I decide I'm going to do something, you know, either go, if you're going to go for something, go for something. If you're going to dip your foot in the pool and be like, I don't know, then, you know, it's really hard to bring out your true Latin potential with that mindset. You know, you can say, hey, I'm going to try and go for it, but if I don't quite make it, then I'm content with the top 10, and that's fine. But if you decide that you have a chance at number 1 and you want to go for it, you got to actually go for it. So as of right now, 40 minutes to use 10 refreshes. Then we have, so actually we have more. I have more than 46 minutes. I have 44, 48, 52 minutes left. So it's going to take me 52 minutes to use all of my refreshes. So I'm going to use one right now. Okay, so tricky. And it looks like what I'm going to do is, it is currently, let's check the time, 11:10. It says 22:10, it's 10:10. I'm in California right now, it's 11. The game shuts down at 1 a.m. That gives us an hour and 51 minutes, and I need 52 minutes of skips. So I need to whittle that down a little bit. And so what I'm going to do is I am going to switch. I'm going to just back out of here real quick just to make sure that nothing's changed. Check the rankings. Okay, Rutada 150, 106, 150, 150, 148, 147. So there's a good amount of people that are making a little bit of a push, but I know that everyone except for Rutada had to make up about 18,000 points just to catch up to the two of us today. That means that if I spend all my full refreshes and I do a good job of choosing my fights, we have a natural advantage on everyone else at this point. So right now I'm more focused on Rutada, but at the same time I still have to brace for the chance that somebody could find that win streak and make up that 15,000 points. And then there's 3 people up here. And that's tough because I already have 10 full teams set. Literally, I have 10 full teams set for different things, different parties. And that's really just focusing mainly on one person and then a couple teams that just so happen to fit against other players. So let's go in here. Let's look at Rutada. I'm going to go to the formation. I'm going to go down to soldier. I'm going to switch it over. I'm going to go to the battle. And we're going to skip through 5 of these again. There's always the other approach, which could be Rutada's strategy, which is, I'm guessing, to wait until they're ahead and then therefore use less Visior refreshes because the amount of rate up that you get is significantly higher. And so that to me is a good strategy if you can for sure make a team that's going to beat the other player. But in this case, if I can keep switching back to my lightning team as a defense, then it makes it harder for him to do that. So yeah, I'm definitely getting more points right now from this team as opposed to fighting Milky Way. Interesting. I thought that because the other team has a 125% higher bonus rate than this team. This team has a, let me double check, 325% bonus rate, whereas the master team has 450%. So yeah, 125% difference. And still getting a lot more points. I know that points are divvied not just from stuff, but for not just from winning the fight, but how much HP you have at the end of the fight. A lot of factors go into it, and so it's hard to kind of discern it. But from what I've seen, when you fight someone that's lower and lower in the ranks, it seems like even if you do well against them, that the points are a little bit, they seem to be lower. I could be wrong, and definitely on paper I'm wrong, but you know, you never know. I guess that in life I tend to intuitively make choices from my gut, so I am going to farm Rutada right now. As you guys can see, getting a decent amount of points. I just saw his points are his rank is still at or his points is still at 151,066. So he hasn't budged. I just need to do one more fight and I can switch back. I'll know that he's pushing as soon as he does, because whatever team that he has right now, or Winter Victoria, June, and Laura Croft, has absolutely 0% chance, I would say, or extremely low chance of beating the Mono Lightning team that I have up. Okay, so I have a win streak back up to 8. Let's see, so just really quick, I'm going to reset, go into my party formation, go back to Braver, move out of there, just to reset everything back into place. Okay, so now I have almost a 10,000 point lead on Rutada. I need 48 minutes to do all my fights, so I'm going to be slowly whittling away at that. And I have 12 refreshes left, and I've gotten about 11,000 points or so since the beginning of the day, which means I've used exactly a third of my refreshes for the day, which means that if I keep my pace at where I'm going right now, I should more or less make about 33,000 points for the day, which from what I'm seeing is a pretty decent amount of points. So yeah, that being said, I'm going to kind of sit down, make a cup of tea, brace myself for the battle at hand. I'm going to be making a video for each of the last 3 nights going into the final night, Sunday night, the fight for Conqueror. Whomever wins, I'll be giving it the best I can fucking do. And so, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys have any questions about anything, I'm more than happy to answer them. Keep in mind, I'm a novice. This is the first time I've ever tried this. I know that there's people in here that have definitely been in the top 10 before. I've only ever ranked in the top 50 before. I've never been anywhere near the top 10 at the end of a week, though I've never really tried. I know Wit, I checked the placings for last week, so I know Wit was in 2nd place last week, and he's in the top 10 right now, which makes me feel like, why would you be in the top 10 if you already have Transcendent Mind, if it takes this much Visior, if you're not going for rank 1? So I have my eye on Wit. There's a couple other people in there that I feel like might be waiting to make a push, but only time will tell. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it's not that fun to watch battles get skipped, but it is what it is. It is the nature of things. I've also recorded all of my individual battles, like the one-on-ones when I'm team testing. The mic is not on, but I will upload those battles against a lot of these players slowly over time, because I'll be releasing all this footage late. It wouldn't be helpful to me to release it as is. All the other players would have an idea of what I'm doing, etc., etc. But I hope that these videos help any of you guys who plan to make a push for top 10 or Conqueror or really anything in the future. Arena is very fun. I wish that they rewarded 10,000 Visior to the person who gets first place instead of 2,000, since it costs more Visior to get down there than it does for what you're rewarded. But I think just the clout of Conqueror and just being able to have the title and knowing that you persevered and endured and went through it, I think is definitely worth it. That being said, I hope you guys have a great day, and cheers.